All right, welcome back to the deep dive, where we go through the source material so you don't have to. Today we're jumping into a really high stakes topic: how to strategically build a successful, a lasting streaming brand. We're using the Building Your Streaming Brand course book as our blueprint, and this is really for those aspiring creators, say aged 16 to 25, who are ready to get past just hit and go live.
And you absolutely need a strategy. The stakes are getting so high, so fast. I mean, if you just look at the money, the creator economy is projected to jump from $250 billion in 2024 to $500 billion by 2027.
Wow, 500 billion.
500 billion.
That's exponential growth in just a few years. It means more opportunity for sure, but also way more competition.
Precisely. And the course makes this really important distinction. You have over 1 million streamers earning some money each month, but only a tiny, tiny fraction of those actually build a sustainable career. So our mission today is to give you that foundational strategy. We're talking everything from defining your niche to building real community loyalty, the stuff that separates a career from just, background noise.
Okay, so let's start with the landscape itself, because the scale is just huge. Twitch it's still the giant in the room.
Oh, absolutely.
The sources are citing 240 million unique monthly visitors globally. And get this, 35 million daily active users just in the US. That's a massive pool of people.
It completely dictates the game. And you can see it in the watch hours from 2024. Twitch had something like 20.8 billion hours watched.
Okay.
And its biggest competitor, YouTube Gaming, had 15.2 billion. So if you want a live audience, that's where you have to start.
And it's so important to know who's watching. The demographic for Twitch, it skews young. Nearly 3/4 of all users are under 35. Globally, the split is about 65% male, 35% female.
Yeah.
And the average American user spends 95 minutes a day on the platform.
95 minutes. So if you can hook them, they are a dedicated, habitual audience. But that leads to the big problem, right? With millions of people streaming, you have to focus. You just have to. The number one lesson the course hammers home is that specialists grow faster than generalists.
That feels it feels counterintuitive. You'd think I'll play everything to attract everyone.
And that's the trap. That's the mistake. The generic streamer who says, I stream games, is literally competing with millions of other people. Now, compare that to a focused statement, like the one from the course. I do challenge runs of Souls-like games while teaching game design principles.
Instantly different. You know exactly what that person is about. It sets up expertise, and you know why you should click on that stream.
Right.
But how do you find that niche? The course gives a really great 4-part formula.
This is the homework part. Your perfect niche has to sit at the intersection of 4 things. First one is passion. Simple. If you don't love it, you will burn out. Guaranteed.
The second is skill. And skill isn't just about being a pro gamer. It could be that you're incredibly funny, or you have deep knowledge, or you're just really good at making people feel welcome.
Exactly. What are you uniquely good at? Third is demand. You have to do the research here. People actually searching for this stuff.
Right.
The course notes that, for example, just chatting was the #1 category in 2024. So there's huge demand for non-gaming content too.
And then the fourth one, which is probably the hardest, is finding the gap. What is underrepresented, what perspective is missing. That's your opening.
And you really need all 4. If you have passion and skill but no demand, that's a hobby, not a brand. If you have demand and skill but no passion, well, that's just a job you're going to hate. The strategy has to be start narrow, expand later.
So forget trying to appeal to everyone. Just talk to that one ideal person first. It makes you way more discoverable and lets you build authority before you try to branch out.
Exactly. So once you know the what, you have to figure out the who. Which brings us to section 2, defining your identity.
And this all starts with your brand values. These are your non-negotiables. They're what you stand for, and they attract people who believe the same things.
The course recommends picking just 3 to 5 core values. They have to be authentic. They guide every single decision you make.
Things like inclusivity, excellence, education.
Community, yeah. Your audience learns very quickly what you stand for and what you won't tolerate in your space.
And those values lead right into your brand personality. The material boils this down into 4 main archetypes.
And you have to figure out which one you are naturally. First, you've got the entertainer. Funny, high energy, people show up for the laughs. Then there's the teacher, educational, patient. Viewers come to learn something specific.
You also have the competitor, very skilled, intense. People watch for that high-level gameplay. And then finally, the friend, who is just chill, relatable, a comfort streamer.
And this leads us to what I think is the most important insight in this whole section, the golden rule of personality.
I love this part because it really pushes back on the idea that streaming is just acting. What is it?
The course says it so simply. Do not fake a personality.
Wait, isn't all streaming a performance? You're amplifying things. You're hiding parts of your life. Where's the line between performing and faking?
That's the perfect question. It is a performance, but it's a performance of an amplified version of your real self. Fake personas fail for a very practical reason. You have to be live for hundreds, even thousands of hours. It is exhausting to keep up a fake personality. The cracks always start to show.
Yeah.
The audience connects with the real you. So if you're naturally witty, lean into being the entertainer. Don't force yourself to be the competitor if it's not you.
So it's not invention, it's amplification. That makes so much more sense. And then you can wrap all of that up into a brand statement using the course's fill-in-the-blank formula.
It's super effective. I help audience feel emotion benefit by providing content type in a style way. It clarifies everything.
Like the example. I help anxious gamers relax by providing cozy gameplay in a calm, friendly way. Boom. That's a promise. You know exactly what you're getting.
Which is the perfect transition to section 3, visual identity. Because once you know who you are, you have to look the part.
Okay, let's talk about the technical side here, starting with logos. You have to design for the smallest possible size first. Profile pictures on Twitch can be just 32 by 32 pixels.
They're tiny.
So simplicity is not optional, it's mandatory. Your logo has to be simple, versatile, so it works on light and dark backgrounds, and it has to reflect your brand.
There's a great pro tip in the book for this.
Yeah.
Take your draft logo, shrink it way down, and then look at it on your phone inside a crowded Twitch directory. If it just becomes a blur, it fails the test. You have to simplify it.
That's such a practical test. So beyond the logo, colors are your emotional shortcut, right? The psychology behind them is huge.
It really is. You're setting a mood before you even say a word.
So break that down for us. We all know Twitch is purple, but what about the others?
Right, so red is energy, passion, great for competitive content. Blue communicates trust, professionalism, so it's good for educational streams or esports. Purple is creativity, yeah, but it's also Twitch's brand, so you might want a strong secondary color to stand out elsewhere. And green is calm, growth, perfect for cozy or survival games.
And for text, the two-font rule is a lifesaver. Keeps things from looking like a mess. One bold font for headers, one clean font for body text.
And this is where you have to be really disciplined. You have to document your choices, your exact hex codes for your colors, the names of your fonts.
Why is that little detail so important for someone just starting out?
Because perfection is the enemy of recognition. Using the same exact colors and fonts everywhere build recognition way faster than having a perfect design that's applied inconsistently.
Okay, so that technical discipline leads right into section 4. Aesthetics and presence. How you actually look and act when you're live.
You need a structured presentation. That means a starting soon scene with a countdown, your branding, and super important music credits.
Right.
You need a BRB scene for breaks. And you absolutely need a dedicated just chatting scene with a much bigger camera view that puts the focus on interaction.
And this next point is the one that I think validates how exhausting streaming is for new people. The book calls it the 10-20% energy drain of the camera.
Yes, if you just act like your normal self, you're going to look flat or bored on screen.
You feel normal, but you look low energy.
Exactly. So you have to consciously amplify your natural energy. You have to turn the dial up a notch, even if it feels a little weird at first, just so your personality actually comes through the lens.
I feel it just doing a recorded show. So what's the best advice for a new streamer trying to fill that dead air when chat is quiet?
You have to narrate everything, think out loud, talk about your decisions in the game, tell a related story. The advice is just to keep talking, even if it feels like you're talking to yourself at first.
And the golden rule of presence is to always treat every viewer like they just arrived.
Always. Greet new people, take 10 seconds to explain what's going on. It's just basic hospitality, and it stops people from clicking away because they're confused.
And that's how you build those memorable connections, right? With signature greetings or celebration phrases.
Yes, those little rituals. And the book highlights the real milestone moment here. The signal that you've really connected is when chat starts using your phrases back at you without being prompted. That's organic adoption. That means you've built a real shared language with your community.
Okay, now let's get into sustainable growth in section 5, because just relying on Twitch is, well, it's a huge risk.
It's so risky. Algorithms change, policies change. You have to diversify. Plus, Twitch is great for live interaction, but it's terrible for discoverability.
Right. You need other platforms to feed people back to your mainstream. So let's lay out that content repurposing strategy.
Okay, so it flows outward. You start with the mainstream. From there, you pull short, punchy clips for TikTok and YouTube Shorts. That's your viral growth engine.
Then you take the best parts and make longer, polished VOD highlights for YouTube. YouTube is a search engine. That's your long-term evergreen discoverability.
And finally, you use Twitter or X for your announcements, networking, real-time stuff. Every platform has a different job, but they all funnel people to the live show.
And all of this deepens the community, which mostly lives off-stream on Discord. With over 150 million active users, that's where your community actually becomes a community.
And when we talk about retention, the book gives this amazing metric. 10 loyal regulars are more valuable than 1,000 one-time viewers. You have to focus on depth, not breadth.
That is a truth bomb for anyone just chasing a follower count. Why is that specific ratio so powerful?
Because those 10 regulars are the ones who show up every single time. They buy the merch, they become your mods, they're the ones who tell their friends about you. They are the heart of your community. The 1,000 floaters are just noise. The 10 regulars are the signal.
And that focus on engagement leads us right into the last section, section 6, partnerships and long-term evolution.
If you want sponsors, you have to have that engaged audience. The source is clear. 50 engaged viewers are better than 500 lurkers. Brands want to see an active chat.
And when you have that, you're ready for sponsors like GFUEL or Secret Lab or Razer.
But honestly, the best way to grow is still through collaborations with other streamers. And the course gives a very blunt piece of advice here.
What's that?
Your network is your net worth in streaming. You have to collaborate. But, and this is a huge but, you have to be a genuine fan first. Don't be transactional. Other creators can smell it a mile away.
So true. Finally, let's talk about evolving. A successful brand doesn't stay the same forever. The course makes a distinction between a refresh and a rebrand.
A refresh is just updating your colors or tweaking your logo, but keeping the same core identity. A rebrand is a complete overhaul. A new niche, new focus, everything.
And what's the final takeaway on that evolution?
Don't stress the visuals too much. The course reminds you that people follow you, the person, not your logo. Your personality and the value you provide are what carry through any rebrand. The logo is just the wrapping paper.
That brings us to the end of a really packed deep dive. We've gone from finding your tiny niche to visual consistency to building an authentic presence and then to strategic multi-platform growth.
And the final idea the course leaves you with is that your brand is a promise. It's a commitment you make to your audience about the experience they'll get every time they tune in. And consistency is what builds that trust.
All the planning, all the visuals, it all just serves one purpose: to support and amplify the value you create when you hit that go live button.
So now, go live and be yourself. Authenticity always, always wins. And here's the final thought for you to take away. What is one aspect of your real personality, one thing you love, even if it feels a little silly, that you are ready to amplify on camera today?